Crash landing. The vast emptiness of space shimmered with distant stars as Princess Lyra's small craft hurtled through the darkness. Warning lights flashed across the console, the ship's hull groaning under the strain of its desperate flight. Lyra's four-fingered hands danced across the controls, her luminous silver eyes narrowed in concentration. "Computer, status report," she commanded, her musical voice taut with tension. "Hull integrity at 38%, fuel reserves critically low." "Pursuing vessels still in range, Princess," the AI responded coolly. Lyra allowed herself a moment of despair. How had it come to this? Just days ago, she had been preparing to assume the throne of the galactic Concordat, the interstellar alliance her ancestors had built over millennia. Now, betrayed by those she had trusted most, she was little more than a fugitive. A violent shudder ran through the ship as a stray energy blast from her pursuers grazed the hull. Lyra's attention snapped back to the present. She couldn't change the past, but perhaps she could still shape the future if she survived long enough. "Computer, scan nearby systems. Find viable planets," Lyra ordered. "Prioritize pre-spaceflight civilizations." It was a desperate gambit. The laws of the Concordat strictly forbade contact with developing worlds, but those same laws might give her a chance at survival. Her pursuers wouldn't dare risk exposure by following her to a primitive planet. "Scan complete," the computer intoned. "One viable candidate detected. Designation: Earth. Indigenous civilization. Pre-FTL. Caution: atmosphere contains high levels of nitrogen and oxygen." Lyra's heart raced. It was far from ideal, but it was her only chance. "Plot a course and engage emergency landing protocols." The ship banked sharply, accelerating toward a small blue-green orb. As they breached the atmosphere, the battered hull began to glow red-hot. Lyra gritted her teeth, fighting to maintain control as the craft plummeted toward the surface. Trees rushed up to meet her as the ship plunged into a dense forest, carving a destructive path through the wilderness before finally grinding to a violent stop. As the dust settled, silence fell, broken only by the hiss of cooling metal and the distant calls of startled wildlife. Inside the wreckage, Lyra lay unconscious, her delicate lavender skin marred by cuts and bruises. The ship's emergency beacon flickered weakly, its signal barely penetrating the thick canopy above. Miles away, in a small clearing, a scruffy mutt raised his head, ears twitching. The dog, a mixed breed with intelligent eyes and a shaggy coat, had been abandoned in these woods months ago. He'd learned to survive on his own, but a part of him still longed for companionship. Something in the air felt different. A faint scent unlike anything he'd encountered before tickled his sensitive nose. Curiosity overrode caution, and the dog set off into the forest, following the strange smell. As dawn broke, casting dappled sunlight through the leaves, the dog approached the crash site. Smoke still rose from the twisted metal of Lyra's ship, and debris was scattered across the forest floor. The dog sniffed cautiously, circling the wreckage until he found an opening. Inside, he discovered Lyra's unconscious form. The dog whined softly, nudging her hand with his wet nose. When she didn't respond, he curled up beside her, offering warmth and protection as he had once done for his human family. Hours passed. The forest slowly came alive with the sounds of birds and small animals, seemingly undisturbed by the alien object in their midst. Inside the ship, Lyra stirred, consciousness returning in a haze of pain and confusion. She blinked, trying to focus on her surroundings. The first thing she saw was a pair of warm brown eyes staring at her with concern. Lyra gasped, instinctively recoiling before realizing the creature beside her posed no immediate threat. What are you?" she whispered, her universal translator struggling to find the right words in this world's languages. The dog tilted his head, tail wagging slightly at the sound of her voice. He let out a soft woof in response. Lyra's scientific training kicked in, helping her push aside her fear and analyze the situation. The creature appeared to be some kind of native fauna, possibly domesticated given its non-aggressive behavior. Its presence was oddly comforting in the aftermath of her crash. Slowly, carefully, she reached out her hand. The dog sniffed it, then gave her fingers a gentle lick. A small smile crossed Lyra's face, her first since fleeing her homeworld. "Thank you for staying with me, little one," she said softly. "I suppose we're both a bit lost, aren't we?" With the dog's help, Lyra managed to extricate herself from the wreckage. Each movement sent spikes of pain through her body, but her alien physiology was already working to heal the worst of her injuries. She stumbled out into the forest, leaning against a tree as she took in her new surroundings. The lush greenery was unlike anything on her arid homeworld. The air was thick with moisture and the sense of unfamiliar plants. Lyra's scientific curiosity warred with a sense of caution. She was stranded on an alien world with unknown dangers. The dog stayed close, seeming to sense her unease. His presence was reassuring, a reminder that she wasn't entirely alone. Lyra knelt down, wincing at the movement, and gently stroked the dog's fur. "I don't suppose you know where I might find help?" she asked, not expecting an answer. To her surprise, the dog barked once and began trotting away. After a few steps, he looked back at her expectantly. Lyra hesitated, glancing back at her ruined ship. There was nothing salvageable in the short term, and staying put wasn't an option. With a deep breath, she made her decision. "Very well, my furry guide," she said. "Lead on." As they made their way through the forest, Lyra's mind raced with plans and contingencies. Her top priority was to find a way to contact her allies without alerting her enemies to her location. But first, she needed to understand this world and its inhabitants. The dog led her to a small stream, and Lyra realized how parched she was. She cupped her hands, drinking the cool water gratefully. As she did so, she caught sight of her reflection and gasped. Her usually immaculate appearance was a far cry from its usual regal state. "I'm a long way from the royal palace now," she murmured. The dog nudged her hand, as if offering comfort. Lyra managed a small smile. "You're right, titles mean little here. We focus on survival first." As the day wore on, Lyra and her canine companion traversed the forest. The dog seemed to have a destination in mind, though Lyra couldn't fathom what it might be. Her body ached, and the alien environment taxed her senses, but she pressed on. Periodically, they would stop to rest. During these breaks, Lyra attempted to use her limited equipment to scan for signs of civilization. The results were inconclusive. There were faint energy signatures that might indicate technology, but nothing definitive. As evening approached, bringing with it a chorus of unfamiliar animal sounds, Lyra's concern grew. She needed shelter for the night, and her knowledge of Earth's potential predators was non-existent. The dog, however, seemed unconcerned. Just as Lyra was about to suggest they find a defensible position for the night, the trees thinned, revealing a startling sight. A small wooden structure stood in a clearing, clearly artificial but long abandoned. "Is this what you were leading me to?" Lyra asked the dog, who wagged his tail in response. Cautiously, they approached the building. It appeared to be some kind of recreational shelter, with a collapsed table inside and the remnants of a fire pit nearby. While primitive, it offered more protection than the open forest. Lyra set about making the shelter as secure as possible, using broken branches to cover the windows and gathering dry leaves for bedding. The dog watched her work, occasionally bringing her sticks in an attempt to help. As night fell, Lyra huddled in the shelter with her canine protector. She stroked his fur absently, finding comfort in his steady presence. "I don't even know what to call you," she mused. After a moment's thought, she smiled. "How about Nova? It seems fitting for a guide among the stars." The newly named Nova wagged his tail, seeming to approve. Lyra's mind turned to the challenges ahead. She was stranded on a pre-spaceflight world, hunted by her own people, with only a local animal as an ally. And yet, a spark of hope remained. If this world's inhabitants were advanced enough to build shelters like this, Perhaps they were closer to the stars than she had initially thought. As she drifted into an uneasy sleep, Lyra made a silent vow. She would find a way to contact her allies, to save her people from the tyranny that had overthrown her family. And somehow, she would find a way to protect this beautiful, primitive world from the conflict that pursued her across the stars. Nova shifted closer, his warm body a reassuring presence in the alien night. Together, the unlikely pair, an exiled alien princess and a stray Earth dog, faced an uncertain future on a world that held both danger and hope. The adventure was only beginning. Quantum bonds. As the first light of dawn filtered through the dilapidated shelter, Princess Lyra awoke with a start. Her silver eyes darted around, momentarily disoriented by the unfamiliar surroundings. Then she felt Nova's warm presence beside her, and the events of the previous day came rushing back. "Good morning, my loyal friend," she whispered, scratching behind the dog's ears. Nova's tail thumped against the wooden floor, his eyes sparkling with canine enthusiasm for a new day of adventure. Lyra's attention was suddenly drawn to a faint beeping sound coming from the remains of her crashed ship. Her heart raced as she realized what it meant. "The quantum entanglement communicator," she breathed. "It's still operational." With renewed energy, Lyra and Nova set out towards the crash site. As they walked, Lyra explained to her furry companion, "You see, Nova, quantum entanglement allows for instantaneous communication across any distance. If I can boost the signal, I might be able to contact my allies without alerting the usurpers to my location." Nova barked in response, as if understanding the gravity of the situation. As they neared the wreckage, a rustling in the underbrush caught their attention. Nova's hackles rose, a low growl rumbling in his throat. Lyra tensed, her hand instinctively moving to the small energy weapon concealed in her tattered robes. From the bushes emerged a human figure, a young woman with wild, curly hair and wide, curious eyes. She froze upon seeing Lyra, her mouth agape in astonishment. "Oh, my God," the woman breathed, her voice a mix of fear and wonder. You're not from around here, are you?" Lyra straightened, drawing on years of diplomatic training. "I am Princess Lyra of the Galactic Concordat," she said, her translator rendering her words into crisp English. "And no, I am not from your world. I come seeking refuge and assistance." The human woman blinked rapidly, processing the impossible scene before her. Then, to Lyra's surprise, a broad smile spread across her face. "I'm Dr. Zhou Chen," she said, extending a hand. "Astrophysicist and, apparently, first contact specialist. This is incredible." As Lyra hesitantly shook the offered hand, marveling at the alien gesture, Nova barked happily, circling the two bipeds. "Is this good boy yours?" Zhou asked, kneeling to scratch Nova behind the ears. "He found me, actually," Lyra explained. "After my ship crashed. He's been my guide and protector on your world." Zhou's expression sobered. "Crashed ship. Are you hurt? Do you need medical attention?" Lyra shook her head. "My physiology is resilient, but I am in need of assistance. Dr. Chen, my presence here must remain a secret. There are those who would do great harm to your world if they knew I was here." Zhou's eyes sparkled with determination. "Well, Princess Lyra, it looks like you've come to the right place. I'm out here testing new quantum communication theories. My camp is well hidden and equipped with some, let's say, unconventional technology. We can lay low there while we figure out our next move." As they made their way to Zhou's camp, the scientist peppered Lyra with questions about her species, her technology, and the broader galactic community. Lyra answered as best she could, careful not to violate too many of the Concordat's laws regarding pre-spaceflight civilizations. "So there really is a galactic civilization out there," Zhou mused, her voice filled with awe. "And we're just what? The quiet backwater no one's noticed yet." Lyra smiled. "Your world is young, but full of potential. The Concordat has been watching Earth's progress with great interest. Your species' creativity and adaptability are quite remarkable. They arrived at Zoe's campsite, a clearing equipped with a high-tech tent and an array of strange equipment that hummed with energy. As Zoe prepared a meal for them, carefully checking which Earth foods were safe for Lyra's alien biology, the princess began to relax for the first time since her crash landing. "I need to repair my ship's quantum entanglement communicator," Lyra explained between bites of a fruit Zoe called an apple, which the princess found delightful. "If I can contact my allies, they can extract me before my enemies track me here." Zoe's brow furrowed in thought. "I'm no spacecraft engineer, but I've been working on some pretty cutting-edge quantum tech. Maybe we can jury-rig something using my equipment and whatever's salvageable from your ship." As they brainstormed ideas, bouncing concepts back and forth across the gulf of their different scientific backgrounds, Lyra felt a spark of hope ignite in her chest. Perhaps with human ingenuity and her own advanced knowledge, they could find a solution. Their planning was interrupted by a low growl from Nova. The dog was staring intently into the forest, hackles raised. "What is it, boy?" Zoe whispered, reaching for what looked like a modified cattle prod, standard equipment for wildlife encounters she'd explained earlier. Lyra's hand went to her energy weapon. "We may have company," she said grimly, "and I don't think it's the friendly kind." As if on cue, a series of inhuman shrieks echoed through the trees. Plasma bolts sizzled through the air, setting the underbrush ablaze. "Chrono hunters," Lyra gasped, her face pale. "They found me." Zoe's eyes widened in fear, but her voice was steady as she said, "Well, Princess, it looks like we'll have to improvise. Any ideas?" As the alien hunters closed in, Lyra, Zoe, and Nova stood back to back, an unlikely trio preparing to face a threat beyond anything Earth had ever encountered. The fate of two worlds now hung in the balance, with humanity's first steps onto the galactic stage about to be far more dramatic than anyone could have imagined. Lyra's mind raced, considering and discarding plans in rapid succession. Then her eyes fell on Zoe's quantum communication array. "Dr. Chen," she said urgently, "your quantum equipment, can it generate an entanglement field?" Zoe blinked, catching on quickly. "Theoretically, yes. But at that scale, it would be incredibly unstable. We'd be risking a localized collapse of spacetime." "It's our only chance," Lyra insisted. "If we can create a quantum interference pattern, it might disrupt their chronotrackers long enough for us to escape." Nova barked, as if lending his support to the plan. "All right," Zoe nodded, her fingers flying over her equipment's controls. "But if we tear a hole in the universe, I'm blaming you." As the first chrono hunter burst into the clearing, its mask-like face swiveling as it searched for its prey, Zoe activated her array. Reality itself seemed to ripple, a wave of quantum energy bursting outward and enveloping the entire area in a shimmering field of probability. The effect on the hunters was immediate and dramatic. Their weapons went haywire, firing wildly in all directions as targeting systems lost cohesion. The aliens stumbled, their own molecular structures briefly phasing in and out of sync with baseline reality. "Now," Lyra shouted. She grabbed Zoe's hand, and with Nova leading the way, they plunged into the depths of the forest. They didn't stop running until they were certain they had lost their pursuers, finally collapsing in a small gully hidden from view by dense foliage. As the adrenaline wore off, the full impact of what had just occurred began to sink in. That was... Zoe panted, struggling to find words. "Incredible," Lyra finished, a note of admiration in her voice. "Your quick thinking saved us, Dr. Chen. I've never seen anyone weaponize quantum entanglement like that before." Zoe managed a weak laugh. "Just a typical day in the field for an astrophysicist, right?" As Nova nuzzled both of them, checking for injuries, Lyra's expression grew serious. "They'll be back, and in greater numbers. We bought ourselves some time, but we need a more permanent solution." Zoe nodded, her scientist's mind already racing with possibilities. "We need to contact your allies, warn the authorities. But how? Your ship's communications are down, and I can't exactly call the Pentagon on my satellite phone and tell them we're facing an alien invasion. Lyra's eyes lit up with a sudden idea. Maybe we don't need to repair my ship's long-range communicator. What if we could boost the signal of your communication devices using principles of quantum tunneling? Quantum tunneling? Zoe's excitement was palpable. You mean like faster-than-light communication? That's possible. With the right equipment, yes, Lyra confirmed. We need to combine your Earth technology with some components from my ship. It's a long shot, but it might be our only chance, Zoe finished. She glanced at Nova, who wagged his tail encouragingly. Well, boy, looks like we're in for another adventure. You up for it? The dog barked once, as if saying, always. As the unlikely trio set off once more, this time with a daring plan to bridge the gap between Earth's technology and the advanced science of the galactic community, the fate of two worlds hung in the balance. The next few hours would determine not just their survival, but potentially the future of humanity's place among the stars. Little did they know that their quantum entanglement experiment had caught the attention of more than just the chrono hunters. Somewhere in the depths of space, ancient and powerful eyes turned towards Earth, awakened by the ripples of possibility spreading across the cosmos. The stage was set for a confrontation that would reshape the galaxy, with humanity poised to play a pivotal role in events beyond their wildest imaginations. Cosmic convergence. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, Princess Lyra, Dr. Zoe Chen, and Nova trekked through the dense forest, their mission now clear: to build a quantum tunneling communicator that could pierce the veil of space-time itself. The air hummed with an electric tension, as if the very fabric of reality sensed the magnitude of what they were about to attempt. So, let me get this straight, Zoe panted as they climbed a steep hill. We're going to create a subspace conduit using my quantum array and parts from your ship, then piggyback on the cosmic microwave background to send a message across the galaxy. Lyra nodded, her silver eyes gleaming with determination. Precisely. It's a technique we call quantum resonance cascading. Your civilization is on the brink of discovering it. You're just missing a few key insights. Nova barked excitedly, tail wagging as if he understood every word. And you're sure this won't, I don't know, accidentally summon an eldritch cosmic horror or tear open a black hole? Zoe asked, only half joking. Lyra's laughter was like tinkling crystals. Unlikely. Though I must admit, the multiverse is full of surprises. As they crested the hill, a breathtaking vista spread out before them. Miles of unbroken forest canopy stretched to the horizon, broken only by a distant glint of metal, Lyra's crashed ship. There, Lyra pointed. We need to retrieve the quantum flux capacitor from my engine core. It's the key to stabilizing the tunneling effect. Zoe squinted at the distant wreckage. That's at least a day's hike, and I'm betting those chrono hunters will be combing the area. Then we'll have to be clever, Lyra said, a mischievous glint in her eye. Dr. Chen, how familiar are you with the concept of quantum superposition? Zoe's eyes widened. You don't mean? Oh yes, Lyra grinned. We're going to be in two places at once. What followed was a crash course in applied quantum mechanics unlike anything in human scientific history. Using Zoe's equipment and Lyra's advanced knowledge, they created a localized field of quantum indeterminacy. To an outside observer, it would appear as if three sets of tracks led away from their position, each equally real, each potentially containing the fugitives. As they worked, Zoe's scientific curiosity bubbled over. This is incredible. The implications for physics, for philosophy even. Do you realize we're literally rewriting the nature of cause and effect? Lyra nodded solemnly. It's why my people are so careful about sharing advanced technology with developing worlds. The power to reshape reality comes with great responsibility. Nova, for his part, seemed to take the bending of fundamental physics in stride. He trotted along happily, occasionally phasing in and out of local spacetime, his tail leaving a trail of quantum probability waves. As they neared the crash site, The forest grew unnaturally quiet. Even the birds and insects seemed to sense the wrongness in the air. Lyra held up a hand, signaling for silence. "Chrono hunters," she whispered. "They're close." Zoe gripped her modified cattle prod tightly. "What's the plan?" Lyra's eyes narrowed as she surveyed the area. "We need a distraction, something to draw them away while we retrieve the flux capacitor." Nova whined softly, nudging Lyra's hand. The alien princess looked down at the loyal dog, an idea forming. "Nova," she said gently, kneeling to meet his eyes. "I have a very important job for you. It's dangerous, but it could save us all. Are you willing?" The dog's intelligent eyes seemed to shine with understanding. He barked once firmly. Lyra quickly outlined her plan. Using the quantum superposition field, they would project a false image of themselves fleeing through the forest. Nova, with his unique quantum signature as an Earth lifeform, would lead the illusory trail, drawing the hunters away. "It's risky," Zoe warned. "If they see through the deception—" "I have faith in our furry friend," Lyra said, scratching Nova behind the ears. "He's proven to be far more than just a simple animal." With heavy hearts, they set the plan in motion. Nova bounded off into the forest, a shimmering trail of quantum possibilities in his wake. Almost immediately, they heard the distinctive shriek of chronohunter weapons firing in the distance. "Now's our chance," Lyra urged. They sprinted towards the crashed ship, every second feeling like it might be their last. Inside the wreckage, Lyra moved with practiced efficiency, bypassing damaged systems and scorched circuitry. Finally, she reached the engine core, a pulsing sphere of otherworldly energy. "Here," she said, carefully extracting a small crystalline device. "The quantum flux capacitor. With this, we can stabilize the tunneling effect and send our message." A thunderous explosion rocked the ship. Zoe stumbled, catching herself on a twisted bulkhead. "I think our diversion just ran out." They raced back outside, the flux capacitor clutched tightly in Lyra's arms. The forest around them was in chaos, trees splintering under the onslaught of chronohunter weapons. And there, in the midst of it all, was Nova, battered but unbowed, leading their pursuers on a wild chase through realities. "Nova," Lyra called. The dog's ears perked up, and with a final burst of speed, he raced towards them. What happened next would be debated by Earth's greatest scientific minds for generations to come. As Nova reached them, Lyra activated the flux capacitor. A blinding light engulfed the trio just as the chronohunters fired. Space and time seemed to fold in on themselves, reality bending like taffy. When the light faded, Lyra, Zoe, Nova, and their pursuers found themselves elsewhere. The forest was gone, replaced by a vast, shimmering expanse that defied description. Streams of data flowed like rivers through the air, and the very ground beneath their feet seemed to pulse with cosmic energy. "Where are we?" Zoe gasped, her scientific mind reeling at the impossibility of their surroundings. Lyra's eyes were wide with awe and a touch of fear. I think we're inside the quantum realm itself, the space between spaces where all possibilities exist simultaneously." The chronohunters, clearly as disoriented as their prey, rallied quickly. They raised their weapons, preparing for a final assault. But before anyone could act, a new presence made itself known. A voice that was not a voice, a thought that reverberated through the very fabric of their beings, filled the quantum realm. "Enough," it boomed. "You stand at a nexus of possibilities, a FELC room upon which the FAT of galaxies balances. The time is on our JDGMENT." Lyra fell to her knees, overwhelmed by the sheer power of the presence. "The cosmic arbiters," she whispered. "The legends of true." As Zoe helped Lyra to her feet, Nova pressed close, his fur standing on end. The dog's eyes, usually warm and brown, now swirled with the infinite possibilities of the quantum realm. The voice spoke again, its words reshaping reality with each syllable. The Extines taken here, YLLDTE mum INE, the course of Coasanic history. She lose YZ a fourth the MEUL THAHERSE, HNGS in D balance. Lyra Zoe and Nova found themselves facing not just the chrono hunters, but the weight of cosmic destiny itself. In this realm of pure potential, every choice, every action would have universe-altering consequences. The stage was set for a confrontation that would decide the fate of not just Earth or the galactic concordat, but the very nature of reality itself. And at the center of it all stood an unlikely trio, an alien princess, a human scientist, and a loyal Earth dog, their bond forged in quantum fire, ready to face whatever the universe had in store. As the cosmic forces gathered, preparing to witness this pivotal moment, one thing became clear. The next few moments would reshape the galaxy in ways no one could have imagined. The adventure that had begun with a crash landing in a forest had become something far greater, a quantum leap for all of creation. Quantum Nexus Ultimatum. The quantum realm pulsed with infinite possibilities, its very essence, a kaleidoscope of realities colliding and separating in cosmic dance. Princess Lyra, Dr. Zoe Chen, and Nova stood at the epicenter of this multiversal maelstrom, facing not only the chrono hunters, but also the incomprehensible presence of the cosmic arbiters. Speak, She Aldrian of STR-TUST, the arbiter's collective voice resonated through the fabric of reality. Your extrahands have TRIGGRED cosmic seat, Toman via GNC. The MUL TI via say await is your choice. Zoe, her scientist minds, struggling to process the sheer impossibility of their situation, found her voice first. Choice? What choice? Lyra, her royal training kicking in, stepped forward. Her silver eyes blazed with determination as she addressed the cosmic entity. Great arbiters, I'm Princess Lyra of the Galactic Concordat. I seek justice for my people and protection for this young world, Earth. The lead chrono hunter, a towering figure wreathed in temporal energy, snarled. The princess speaks of justice, yet she flees from the will of the people. The Concordat has grown stagnant, corrupt. We seek to forge a new future. Silence. The arbiters boomed, causing ripples in the quantum foam around them. The cosmic SKLES must be balanced. A choice must be made. Suddenly, 3 shimmering portals materialized before them, each pulsing with a different energy signature. 3 Paytiges LIBFOU, the arbiters explained. Each Rari Kais Antes a possible future of your civilizations and the cosmos ETSALF. The first portal swirled with a golden light, warm and inviting. The Paythigate of preservation. Maintain the CUR and cosmic order. The Concordat remains. Earth stays hidden, but Chichangi Kyurimi slowly. The second portal crackled with fierce red energy. The Paythigate of revolution. Overthrow the old systems. Rapid progress, but at the cost of stability and peace. The third portal shimmered with an iridescent, ever-shifting glow. The Paythigate of SVLNTATSIS. A menage of worlds and ideas. Unpredictable, but at the potential for true cosmic harmony. Nova whined softly, pressing against Lyra's leg. The princess knelt, stroking his fur as she considered the monumental decision before them. Zoe's mind raced, calculating probabilities and outcomes. This is beyond anything I could have imagined. We're literally choosing the fate of the universe. The chrono hunters shifted restlessly, their weapons humming with barely contained temporal energy. Choose wisely, princess, their leader growled. The old ways cannot stand. Lyra stood, her expression resolute. I was raised to be a guardian of the Concordat, to preserve the cosmic balance. But my time on Earth, my friendship with Zoe and Nova, has shown me the power of adaptation and change. She turned to her human companion. Dr. Chen, what does your science tell you? Zoe took a deep breath, her brilliant mind processing eons of potential outcomes in mere moments. From a scientific perspective, stagnation leads to entropy, but uncontrolled change can lead to chaos. The most robust systems in nature are those that can adapt while maintaining core stability. Nova barked suddenly, drawing everyone's attention. The loyal dog's eyes swirled with quantum energy, as if he too could see the branching paths of reality. He padded forward, sitting directly between the three portals, looking back at Lyra and Zoe expectantly. A smile spread across Lyra's face as understanding dawned. Of course, Nova sees it clearly. The choice isn't between these three paths, it's about forging our own. Zoe's eyes widened. A quantum superposition of outcomes. We're not limited to just one reality. Lyra stepped forward, her voice ringing with newfound authority. Great arbiters, we reject these predetermined paths. Instead, we choose to create our own future, one that combines the stability of preservation, the progress of revolution, and the harmony of synthesis. The quantum realm itself seemed to hold its breath as the cosmic arbiters considered this unprecedented decision. Intriguing, the cosmic voice resonated. You seek to rewrite the very values of cosmic destiny. We do, Lyra confirmed, standing tall. The Galactic Concordat will be reformed, not destroyed. Earth will join the galactic community, bringing its unique perspective and potential. And together, we will forge a new cosmic order, one of balance, growth, and unity. Zoe stepped up beside her, adding, our sciences will merge, unlocking the secrets of the universe. We'll face challenges together, human and alien alike. Nova barked in agreement, his tail wagging as quantum probabilities swirled around him. The Chrono Hunters lowered their weapons, their leader looking uncertain for the first time. This was not foreseen, but perhaps there is wisdom in your words. Very well, the arbiters declared, their voice shaking the foundations of reality. You have chosen a path untraveled. The cosmic scale is find balance in your unity. Let it be so. The three portals merged, creating a swirling vortex of infinite possibility. Lyra, Zoe, and Nova stepped forward together, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Are you ready? Lyra asked, looking at her companions. Zoe grinned, the thrill of scientific discovery shining in her eyes. Born ready, let's make history. Nova barked enthusiastically, leading the way as they had so many times before. As they stepped into the portal, the quantum realm erupted in a dazzling display of cosmic energy, the very fabric of space-time reshaping itself around their choice. In that moment, watched by the cosmic arbiters and witnessed across countless realities, an exiled alien princess, a brilliant human scientist, and a loyal Earth dog took their first steps into a brand new universe, one they would shape together. The adventure that had begun with a crash landing in a forest had become nothing less than the dawn of a new cosmic age. As the quantum energies swirled around them, carrying them towards their new destiny, one thing was certain: the universe would never be the same again. And somewhere, in the vast expanse of the newborn cosmos, the stars themselves seemed to twinkle with anticipation, eager to witness the next chapter in this most unexpected of stories. Cosmic Renaissance. The swirling vortex of quantum possibilities coalesced into a new reality, depositing Princess Lyra, Dr. Zoe Chen, and Nova onto the iridescent surface of a planet unlike any they had ever seen. Crystalline structures pulsed with bioluminescent energy, and the sky above shimmered with the dance of newborn stars. Welcome, a melodious voice echoed around them, to Nexus Prime, the heart of the reborn cosmos. A being of pure energy materialized before them, its form constantly shifting between humanoid, alien, and abstract geometric patterns. I am the Nexus Guardian, tasked with overseeing the great merger you have set in motion. Zoe's eyes widened in wonder, her scientist's mind racing to comprehend the marvels surrounding them. This is incredible. The quantum entanglement on a macro scale, the bioluminescent crystal matrices. It's like the planet itself is one giant supercomputer. Lyra nodded, her royal composure tinged with awe. It appears our choice has triggered a cosmic renaissance beyond anything we could have imagined. Nova barked excitedly, his fur shimmering with residual quantum energy. The loyal dog seemed perfectly at ease in this new reality, as if he had always been meant to walk between worlds. The Nexus Guardian's form rippled with what might have been amusement. Indeed, your decision to forge a new path has rewritten the cosmic code. The old boundaries between species, between science and magic, between thought and reality, all are being redrawn. As if to illustrate this point, a holographic display materialized around them, showing scenes from across the new universe. On Earth, humans worked alongside alien scientists, unlocking the secrets of zero-point energy and faster-than-light travel. In the reformed Galactic Concordat, a council of diverse species debated policy, with Lyra's image prominently displayed as a symbol of the new order. Strange new worlds pulsed with life, where evolution had taken wildly different paths, creating beings of pure thought or living starships. But with great change comes great challenge, the Nexus Guardian cautioned. The cosmos is in flux, and there are those who would seek to exploit this period of transition for their own gain. As if on cue, a violent tremor shook Nexus Prime. The crystalline structures around them flashed urgent warnings in a language of pure mathematics. What's happening? Zoe asked, steadying herself against a pulsing crystal spire. The Nexus Guardian's form became more focused, its energy crackling with tension. The Entropy Cult, a faction that believes the universe should be allowed to decay into perfect chaos. They seek to undo the cosmic renaissance you've begun. Lyra's eyes narrowed, her hand instinctively moving to the advanced weapon at her hip. Then we must stop them. We didn't reshape reality only to let it fall to chaos. Nova growled in agreement, his form briefly flickering with multiple quantum possibilities. In one instant a fierce wolf, in another a cybernetic warhound, always returning to the loyal dog they knew and loved. You misunderstand, the Nexus Guardian said, its voice tinged with what might have been pride. You are not here to fight this threat. You are here to teach the cosmos how to fight for itself. With a gesture, the Guardian opened a portal in the air, revealing a massive amphitheater filled with beings from across the new universe. Some were recognizably humanoid, others were utterly alien, beings of pure energy, sentient gas clouds, and life forms that defied easy categorization. Behold the first class of the Cosmic Academy, the Guardian announced. Drawn from every corner of creation, they are here to learn the art of quantum possibility manipulation, the very skill you three used to reshape reality. Zoe's jaw dropped. Us? Teachers, but we barely understand what we did ourselves. Lyra placed a reassuring hand on her friend's shoulder. Perhaps that's exactly why we're the right ones for this task. We'll learn together, growing alongside our students. Nova barked encouragingly, his tail wagging as he gazed out at the assembled cosmic students. The Nexus Guardian's form solidified slightly, taking on a more humanoid appearance. You each bring unique perspectives that, when combined, unlocked the power to rewrite cosmic law. Princess Lyra, your diplomatic skills and understanding of galactic politics. Dr. Chen, your brilliant scientific mind and human adaptability. And Nova, your unwavering loyalty and ability to see paths others miss. Together, the Guardian continued, you'll teach these beings not just how to manipulate quantum reality, but why such power must be wielded with wisdom and compassion. As they stepped through the portal onto a stage that seemed to be made of solidified starlight, Lyra, Zoe, and Nova felt the weight of cosmic destiny settle upon them. The fate of the reborn universe rested in their hands and paws. Lyra took a deep breath, channeling every lesson in public speaking she'd ever received. Greetings, beings of the cosmos. We stand before you not as conquerors or saviors, but as fellow travelers on an unprecedented journey. Zoe stepped forward, her scientific curiosity burning bright. Together, we'll explore the new laws of physics that govern our shared reality. We'll push the boundaries of what's possible, always striving to use our knowledge for the greater good. Nova barked, a sound that somehow translated perfectly to every being present. It spoke of loyalty, of the unbreakable bonds of friendship that could transcend species and rewrite the very stars. As one, the assembled cosmic students rose, their collective energy causing the fabric of Nexus Prime to vibrate with possibility. The first lesson of the Cosmic Academy was about to begin, and with it, a new chapter in the history of all creation. In that moment, watched by the Nexus Guardian and felt across countless realities, an exiled alien princess, a brilliant human scientist, and a loyal Earth dog prepared to share the greatest lesson of all, that the true power of the cosmos lies not in dominion over others, but in the infinite potential of unity and understanding. The quantum renaissance had begun, and the universe would never be the same again.